Is. All right, hey, fantastic. You go to the cauldron of earthly delights and pick out something, and then go get a razzmatazz. Good job, good job. Guys, it's this thing of enthusiasm. Now, we don't have enough time here to teach you how to get enthusiasm, but here is a pretty good definition. It's not the best. It's okay. It's out of one of the dictionaries. Great excitement for or interest in a subject or a cause. Some of the kind of synonyms are ardor, fervor, fire, passion, or zeal. Now, I'm just going to share with you one little definition that I think is very, very important. If you break the word down just a little bit, who knows what this is? A Greek word, by the way. It first appeared in the English language in 1605, and it was generally used towards sort of a religious fervor. The word has developed over time. But who knows what the en in the word enthusiasm kind of means? Yes. It's within, inside or within, absolutely. Who knows what this thus comes from? Any guesses? Thus. How about theos? Say it again. God. Yeah, it's God or it's deity. And then we've just got a noun. Yes? God within us. God or deity within us. Nothing great was ever accomplished or achieved without a little bit of enthusiasm. So as leaders, that's one of the principles that you want to add to your life. Now, there's all kinds of really good books out there that talk a little bit about it. I read this one just the other night. It's called The Energy Bus by John Gordon. Kind of a fun tell. If you guys like to read, The Energy Bus is kind of a kick. Take a look at that. We don't have the time or the opportunity tonight to go deep into that, but remember that enthusiasm in leadership is absolutely critical. And there's the answer. You guys got it. Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. Let me turn this off. In conclusion, one cannot not communicate. A leader cannot not communicate, so be careful. Decide what you want to communicate. Ask somebody before you communicate it how you're communicating it. As leaders, that's critical. The ability to integrate these multi-generational waves. You guys are going to be leaders that are better than most because you now understand that. Now figure out how to integrate it. Have some gall darn enthusiasm. And how do you get that? You're going to kind of have to figure that out. You're going to have to read some books. You're going to have to study some materials. Some of you already have it. The rest of you are going to get it. I'm going to end with just a little poem. My wife's from Whittier, California. Has anybody ever been to Whittier, California? It's named after a guy named John Greenleaf Whittier. He was a great American poet. One of his most famous poems is called Maud Muller. Has anybody ever heard the poem Maud Muller? Have you? Fantastic, one of you have. I'm not going to read it to you because we don't have time. I would probably put you all to sleep, but I'm going to tell you just a little bit about it, okay? Basically, this is back in probably the 1800s, 1700s, and there's a woman, a girl, and her name is Maud Muller, and she's out working in the field. She's a Generation 1. She's out there raking the hay. And as she's raking the hay, along comes a man on a horse, and he is a young lawyer. And he stops and he talks to her and asks her for a drink of water, and so she takes a cup and takes it from the well and gives it to him, and they're sharing small talk. And she's looking up at him and saying, "Oh, what a wonderful husband he would make." And he is looking down at her, and he's saying, "Simple beauty. Oh, this woman is just amazing." After a couple of minutes of small talk, he heads off on his way, she heads off on her way. And then the poem breaks up for a couple of years, and he marries a woman who is vain and seeks after riches and power. and she marries a man, kind of lives the country life, maybe isn't completely fulfilled. And each of them are separately musing and thinking about back on this moment when the man met the woman in this field. And they're wondering about each other. They're wondering what it would have happened if he had married Maud Mueller, and she had married him. And then there's a phrase. Let me see if I can find my paper on that. I was actually going to read the last line to you, but I don't see it. But this is how the poem ends. As they sit there and think about what could have been. Of all the sad words of tongue and pen, the saddest of all are these. It could have been. You are leaders that are being endowed with principles and education that will allow you to take advantage of opportunities that you will see, and a little voice in your head or in your heart will say, I ought to do that. I ought to get on that committee. I ought to invite myself into that situation. I ought to extend myself. I ought to show some enthusiasm. I'm going to raise my hand. I'm going to ask to be on that work group. Because those are the people that are taking advantage of it. I don't want anybody in this room to say, it could have been. I want you to all say, it was. God bless you, good students. Take care. Thank you for having us.